जहां सबने तूफान देखा, वहां कुछ ने अपनी नाव निकाली और समंदर पार कर लिया। Because in moments when others back off in fear, it is those with courage that step forward and build the bridge to the future. This belief in the future would become the operating DNA of the Adani Group. It was this spirit that carried us into 1995. Adani Exports, which you know as Adani Enterprise, went public. The listing came at an extraordinary 14 times premium. I was 33. On paper, it was a moment of a great validation. But within me, it also raised a deeper question. Was I trading value, or was I truly building it? I realized that if we were to shape the future, it was a time to make a bold decision. Trading commodities had given us a momentum, but it was time to build. The very infrastructures that carried those commodities connected economies and enabled nations to grow. From that moment on, I decided to build. I decided to chasing the tide and instead become the coastline that shaped the tide. And I decided to stop reacting to change and instead become the foundation that shaped the change. And it all started in Mundra with the objective to build a salt export jetty along with a US partner. To make a long story short, the partner backed out and we were left to build the jetty by ourselves. Around this time, in 1995-96, Gujarat government pioneered a public-private partnership policy for port development aiming to tap private sector capabilities. We dived right in. Keep in mind, we had never laid a brick before. Almost everyone called it madness. A port in a marshland to be built by a team with a no construction experience. The fact is, in October 1998, our Mundra port commenced operations with his first berth, thereby making India's first private port launch. Thereafter, a few years later, the SEZ policy was announced, once again we moved fast, while others saw a barren land. We saw 40,000 acres of possibility. My dear friends, Mundra is the manifestations of a belief made real. It is a reminder that vision dares, destiny bends. It is now India's largest multi-cargo port, the world's largest private single-site thermal power plant, India's first HVDC transmission line, India's largest integrated solar and wind manufacturing hub, and a cluster of vital industries that include petrochemicals, copper smelter, solar accessories, and much more yet to come. However, the real story of Mundra is not about what we built. It is more about what it built within us. It gave us the courage to look beyond limits. It gave us the belief that barren salt lands could be converted to a world-class infrastructures. And it gave us the convictions that if we could make it happen once, we could do it again, bigger, faster, and bolder. And what started in our Karma Bhumi has now become a pan-India network of dreams, powering our growth that has made us the world's second largest solar power company and building world largest single-site hybrid renewable park of a 30 gigawatt spanning over 500 square kilometers. India's largest integrated private airport operators, with over 25% of India's passengers and 38% of our nation's air cargo. India's largest ports and logistics network, handling 30% of nation's seaborne cargo. Most highly integrated energy business, encompassing thermal and renewable generations, transmissions, distributions, LNG, LPG, CNG, PNG, battery storage, hydrogen trucks, EV charging stations, pump hydro, and mining. India's second largest and most efficient cement manufacturer, as well as aerospace and defense, data centers, and real estate. My dear friends, one point I would urge you to keep in mind is that our investments are manifestations of our belief in the future of India. In our energy grids, in our logistics arteries, in our industrial backbone. And it is with these convictions that we are preparing for a capital expenditures investment of nearly $100 billion over the next 5 years. The scale and pace of this investment and its commitment is unprecedented in India's private sector history. As we do our part for strengthening the very spine of India's rise, a spine that must be unbreakable, a spine that must carry 1.4 billion dreams, a spine that tells the world that India's rise is inevitable. My dear friends, let me now shift gears and speak about the role entrepreneurs like us and potentially like you can play together. But first, allow me to share a deeply troubling statistics. I was shocked to learn that low back pain is now the leading cause of a disability in India, ahead of conditions like a diabetic and heart disease. India is facing a spinal epidemic, a silent crisis far more widespread than a global average is. Nearly 1 in 2 adult Indians experiences low back pain. This is not merely a health issue. It is a national crisis, measured not just in pain, but in lost productivity, mounting healthcare costs, and destroyed dreams. If we are to carry the full weight of our national ambitions, we must first heal the spine of our people. To me, this is not just a call for medical interventions. It is a call